Good evening, welcome to my school board meetings Monday, January 23rd, 2023, 7 o'clock, from the Susan Tully Legislative Board in the 1887 building. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Mr. Tully to call the roll, please.
Mr. Gayheart?
Here.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Here.
Mr. Martell?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Mrs. Ray?
Here.
Mr. Scarrow?
Here.
Ms. Colton?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
We have a quorum, and we'll continue. Tonight's meeting was noticed for state statute. Do we have any community participation? Okay. I need to read this again. I know you read the already. A reminder for any citizen that is speaking during community participation to complete the assignment sheet by the door. To accurately provide the administration name, address, phone number, email, if available. This will help the administration with any follow-up if needed. Finally, the community participation period is an important time for the Board of Education to hear concerns, gratitude, etc. of its constituents. That said, prior to making any statement, please be aware that each speaker bears the personal risk of anything that they say during the community participation of the school board meeting is defamatory, slanderous, or otherwise harmful to another individual. And with that,
Hi there. My name is Jennifer Sharp. I decided to come tonight to give you an update since I was here January 3rd. I think a lot has even happened in the past couple of weeks. So obviously when I was here on January 3rd, I had come to you with the message that as a community, we need to do more to protect our kids. And I want to thank you, Mr. Tadlock, for the swift measures you've taken in your circle of influence to communicate to the city and the police department, ideas and et cetera. So I have attended the Public Safety Committee meeting tonight at 5 o'clock that was held at Elkhorn City Hall. And there was probably about 25 in attendance because of the committee members, but then there was also 4 members from the public that also attended. So Senta Holmes and I were there, and Mr. Jim Lazon, who's the president of our homeowners association, and also I invited Ellen Schutt, who is the 31st District State Assembly person. So she also came. I invited her because I wanted her to be a part of the conversation from the beginning. And, this is, again, going to be a joint effort of everyone involved. And so she was there as well. They did pass a motion tonight to conduct a feasibility study regarding installing security cameras, not only at Market Street Park, which was what our homeowners association had asked for, and I agree. I mean, it can't just be one isolated park, but they need to look at all city property and things like that. So they're going to move forward with that, which is great news. Ms. Schutt is going to research any other communities that may already have security cameras in place to see, is there a model that Elkhorn can follow, or is Elkhorn going to be the model? So, which I believe we can be. Senta and I are going to be meeting with Captain Brandel just to brainstorm ideas and what we can do as a community. Again, possibly reviewing the curriculum and making changes or updates or parent resources with the Resiliency Coalition and things like that. So everyone that was there at the meeting tonight definitely was on board and shared the belief that the time is now to be doing something and not be waiting. So that was really encouraging. And so I just want to thank you guys as well as a school board for listening and for anything and everything that you're going to be doing as part of this ongoing effort, because it is going to be an ongoing effort. So I just want to say thank you and give you an update.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No, thanks for coming and giving us an update.
Right, I just thought I'd do it all at once. So.
anybody else? We'll move on then. Approval of the minutes from January 9th and 12th. Any questions from the board?
I just wanted to confirm, Steve, your last name is Perkins?
Yes.
Okay, in the Monday, the 9th it's lists his name as Steve Plank. And then on the next one, on the 12th, it leaves listed as Steve Perkins. So I don't know if that needs to be changed, but it looks like it's two different people, but it's not.
Good catch. Anything else? All right, thank you for, we'll do them separately, so I can do a motion for that.
I move to approve the minutes of the January 9th, 2023 regular school board meeting as modified.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the January 9th, 2023 regular session school board meeting is modified. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gayheart,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mr. Martell,
Yes.
Home,
Yes.
Mrs. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Ms. Colton,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, now roll.
I move to approve the minutes of the January 12th, 2023 special session school board meeting as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the January 12th, 2023 special session school board meeting as presented. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gayheart,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mr. Martell,
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Ms. Colton,
I abstain.
Ms. Williams.
I abstain.
Motion carried. General and other fund bills, Mr. Trim.
The general other fund bills this evening covers checks number 148,320 through 148,467, wire transfers 622 through 625, ACH numbers 429 through 453, one voided check 146,805, and the combined amount of $288,001.76. And then there was a memo with some additional information on the bills. And then at the end of the bill listing was a copy of the treasurer's report to the month of December.
Questions for Mr. Trim?
I have a question. I noticed that we are still paying for COVID tracking software. How much are we using that?
That was
Yeah.
a 3-year,
It was
wasn't
a 3-year,
Yeah.
all the
Oh, it was.
final year
Okay.
of
The only way to
that
do it.
contract.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, is
Yeah.
this the third of?
This is the third
Okay.
of that, yeah.
We're no longer using.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but we had to make a 3-year commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact,
To do it
and
to
then
begin with.
the check, this is a voided check, but you're gonna see it come through again as a
Oh.
reissue, so.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
let you know.
Okay,
So that should run out soon.
Hmm.
3 year. That was,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, that was my only question.
I just want to bring up and question, I know it's there and it needs to be paid, but it's been brought up and with the referendum front and center right now and all the dialogue that goes there as well. What is the future of feeding our children at schools? The federal government funding and things for all that is drying up, I guess. Are we going to have something in place to make sure our children are fed? That's a question that came up. And then also looking at that, what is the return on investment for like the Marcus Theaters promotional bills that we're paying and for the custom clothing and promotional apparel? As it was brought up, it's not a lot, but it all adds up. And when we're running a deficit, do we need to pay attention to things like this?
So as far as the federal school lunch program, that's back to operation pre-COVID, where there are the federal dollars for the free reduced lunch. And then the students who don't qualify for free or reduced lunch do have to pay the school lunch fee. We have a long-standing history of operating in the black on that program. And in fact, when we've had to raise the prices, it's been because there's a minimum price that you're required to charge for that from the feds. The bill, you may be able to speak more to that. So in short, Paul, it's, yes, there will be food. It's just not free lunch for everybody or free.
Okay, yeah, and is there some type of funding donation basket that we can make people aware of who are concerned to donate to make sure that those children are fed?
have an angel fund that's been established for years. We could push that back out, but that's actually quite solvent as well. There are donors and it can be found online, but I could push that out and make that more prominent if people want to contribute to that. That money is utilized to cover for meals or balances when families hit a financial hardship and are in a transition to that free or reduced lunch. Because say they're moving along, they don't qualify for a free or reduced lunch, but then someone were to lose their job or have something come up that changed their financial circumstances, they would then be able to qualify, and our food service helps them complete that paperwork. And then we'll also wipe out those negative balances in doing so.
Okay, yeah, I think if we can kind of make that well-known and front and center, with the referendum there, knowing that it's going to impact people and there's ways for them to also be, taken care of as well. I think we want to promote that as long as we have it in place.
Yep, we can do that. And it's probably a good time to refresh that now. It just hasn't been applicable the past several years. And
Right.
also that accounts quite.
Yep, and like I said, when it was brought up, I could understand people's concerns with that. Absolutely, it makes sense.
And in regards to the marketing that we do or the information sharing related to our programs, a charter school, we received a charter school expansion grant of $750,000. There's a requirement in there. And as part of that expansion grant was a target goal setting for enrollment. Before we, did that expansion grant, did the marketing, our enrollment was at 85 students. Career and College Academy is now at 185 students. So, and the bulk of that advertising and marketing was covered for by a grant and required to be done as part of the grant to create that awareness for the programs. We chose the movie theater marketing because they're actually it's one of the least expensive manners to do it for the number of eyeballs that see it. And so there's been a very large return on investment related to our advertising and marketing that we've done. If you figure 185 students, 90 of which approximately are open enrolled in at an average revenue between whether they have special education, it's a different dollar amount than regular education. But if you figure it's around an average of $9,000 times 90, what's that? What?
810,000.
All right, yeah, thank you. 810,000 in revenue generated through the open enrollment portion. And that's just for the Career and College Academy. That's not speaking to options, which pre-pandemic options had enrollment just around 200. I believe we're stabilized around 400. And again, in that program, half of which the students are open enrolled in. So that has another significant being related to that or positive revenue flow.
Okay, thank you. I said it was just brought to my attention and I said I would ask.
Good question. I even heard a rumor out there once that, oh my gosh, they paid $120,000 for Marcus ads. I can tell you that is absolutely false. The Marcus ads are way lower than that. That would still have a return, but that would be a very high advertising budget. The Marcus ads were, I don't recall off the top of my head, but I know they were under $20,000 for the year. 15.5. No, but that's a great question. So 15.5, 2 students, pays for itself.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve the general and other fund bills of January 23rd, 2023, check numbers 148320 to 148467, wire numbers 622 to 625, ACH numbers 429 to 453, and voided check number 146805 in the combined amount of $288,001.76 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the general and other fund bills of January 23rd, 2023, checks numbered 1483220 to 148,467, wire numbers 622 to 625, ACH numbers 429 to 453, and voided check number 146805, in the combined amount of $288,001.06 as presented. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gayheart,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mr. Martell,
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Ms. Colton,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried. Report and discussion, student report.
So. So at Westside, we got our gotcha day again. These two students were so cute. We've started pushing VR out to the students. So they visited Iceland, got to see penguins, and then they went swimming with sharks while they did that. And then the fifth grade PE class had some balancing fun, and they did pyramids.
Could you explain what a gotcha is?
Yeah, so gotcha is when kids are showing like responsibility. It's like the values of Elkhorn, so like responsibility, dependability, and like just like overall like doing good deeds. And then on Friday they get called down to the office and they're like announced to the school.
And then they get a free book.
Yeah.
And then they pick up a book.
And the attendance battle for books has started. I remember doing that. It was so much fun. The middle two pictures are on pajama day. The girl at the top lost a tooth. So that's what she's holding there. And then they had career day. And those two girls dressed up as doctors. At Jackson, they used their number blocks 10 and 1s to create snowflakes. They had lunchtime. In science class, they learned about seed dispersal in water. And then in art class, they made penguins. At the middle school, they're building cars in tech ed. So it's kind of like learning at your own pace, and they get to use the machines and everything. And then at the end, they have a race to see who builds the fastest car. The top picture is just a few of our 7th grade honor roll students. There are so many more. And then the last picture was our 3-2-1 trivia participants. They went to state and they placed first and then 7th in the nation.
These are really cool if you can't see it close enough. They're little miniature tabletop CNC cutting machines.
Oh, I was looking
It's pretty cool. They have that integrated at the middle school
I
now.
didn't know they had that at middle school. It's cool.
They do, so I saw the picture.
There we go. We just had a face.
And then at the high school, that was one of our students of the month that was nominated by the math department. On Saturday, the Elkhorn Prom did a benefit boutique. So basically, if you had old prom dresses or homecoming dresses, you could drop them off at the school. And then Saturday from 8 to noon, you could go in and shop them. And it was all donations. So whatever you thought the dress was worth is what you bought it for. Which is, I think, a good way to give back to the community for girls that can't go out and afford like a new dress every time. And then Addison Domer was wrestler of the week. And then at options, first graders are doing math problems. The second graders are learning about money. And then they brought in the mobile library, which I thought was really cool. So Matheson Memorial Library will go in like once a month with their little mobile library, and then they allow kids borrow books from there. And then they can either give them back to the library or at the school they have a drop off, and then the school will give them back. And it comes in like once a month. And then CCA, the youth build spotlight, so it was comfort, heating and cooling. And then the amazing community members at the bottom did a presentation about CCA to get the word out there more and like
expand the knowledge on that to make that bigger.
All right, as far as a referendum update, the website is up and active. There was a longer version of the video that we pushed out. I didn't read that and try to get it down even shorter. We did cut that in half. The viewership has been pretty good on the second one, and obviously good feedback on that. I know it's hard to not be long-winded on a long topic with a lot of intricacies, but the invites are out there to speak at different community groups and the organization that would like us to speak on it more. We don't want to be too pushy and try to give, we want that open offer to anyone who wants to bring us in and ask questions or learn more about the why behind that and where we're at. So we'll continue to work on that communication plan, but that's where we're at. So.
Personnel.
On our personnel sheet, we first would like to recognize Kathy McFarland, who did submit her letter of resignation or her retirement letter after 28 years with the school district. We want to thank her for all of her service and congratulate her as she moves forward into her retirement. I know she'll be joined over the next couple months with some other teachers that have reached that point in their career. We also want to thank Dale Holte for his work and service to us as a weekend custodian. I had a lot of opportunities to interact with Dale on the weekends running the youth football, and he just did an amazing job. And so we're happy for him to have that opportunity. I think he was wanting to get off the weekend schedule, and so he had a good opportunity to get back to a regular schedule there, but he did an amazing job. I want to thank him for his service. Ryan Ebbett is a high school custodian, and Jason Cleveland, as we're listing this as a resignation of the intramurals, he wanted to get that started, but he's handed it off to another individual. They had a very good start, so you'll see Trevin down there will be taking that. So it was a very quick passing of the baton on the intramurals there, but he did a great job getting it organized and up and running again after it had been down for a number of years. We have the transfer of William Tiso to the high school weekend custodian position. He'll be replacing Dale. And then William Demeter as a district van driver will be replacing Darren. And Erica Bills as a administrative assistant and data specialist. She'll be replacing Christina Dodge in her position at the middle school and doing district level reports. And then I mentioned Trevin Keller.
Is Trevin employed by our district right now, or is he like, where did we get him from?
Yeah, Trevin he was the student teacher in the fall.
Okay.
And then he's been serving as a long-term teacher, and he's been hired with our first futures contract for next year. So
Okay.
he'll be a teacher next year in the social studies.
Okay, I just didn't recognize the name.
So he just graduated from my daughter?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
I believe he's still, filling the spot at the middle school.
Sure.
studies.
Okay.
Other questions? Hearing none, motion.
I'll move to approve the personal recommendation sheet for January 2023, including new employment contracts, conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screen as presented.
Second.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for January 23rd, 2023, including new employment contracts, conditional upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mr. Martell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mrs. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Ms. Colton,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried. School gifts.
Yes, I have one gift to present tonight. Greg and Joe Wells have donated $500 for the purchase of books for the book vending machine at Jackson and $500 to the Parent Connections program.
Looking for a motion to accept.
I move to accept the generous school gift as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve or accept the generous school gift of Greg and Joe Wells as presented. Roll call.
Mr. Gainer,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mr. Martell,
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Ms. Colton,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Motion carried. Announcements.
Just a couple announcements. The second school board meeting in March falls over spring break. Wanted to check and see if the board would be available to hold that meeting, which would be the Monday prior to it.
So we'd be meeting on the 13th and the 20th?
I have to go virtual on the 20th.
Yeah.
Definitely be virtual.
I'm coming back from Houston that day. and If everything goes right, I should be here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be coming back from Colorado.
All right. So we may be
Fingers crossed.
virtual, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can be virtual,
Oh,
but
here.
I'm in Colorado for the weekend.
We could always leave it on the 28th, and if someone else is up to the.
27th.
Spring break, or just not be in attendance on that day.
We're
Yeah, I'm
talking
good.
March, right?
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good with the 27th.
Is it the 27th? Yeah.
I'm not
So
anywhere on
stay
the
on the
27th.
27th?
Works for me.
I'm fine for the 27th.
All right. Scratch that. All right.
So you can't class them.
I was just gonna say.
No, I could always come in remote
I
if we are going to have them.
Yeah. Okay.
My wife has been. All right, and then want to check and see if Monday, February 13th at noon would work for a policy committee meeting.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. And that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn. Anyone?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Edwin did it.
Right?
Motion to adjourn. I moved in second.
I took your spot, Ed, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mr.
I know.
Gayheart?
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Yes.
Mr. Martell?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Mrs. Ray?
Yeah.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Ms. Colton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much.